And
Very
happy to
much,
meet.
Maharaj.
Yes,
Kayla.
Oh, it's Kayla. Oh, sorry, you're small on my screen, Kayla. Not your mum, your daughter. Let's see. And Kumkum Devidasi with us. And Dana K with us. Very good. And Jeevana with you. And Rupanuga Prabhu, looking like he's in Thailand. Is that correct? Yes, okay. And Priyanana Devidasi in Thailand, and Nadia Sundari. Also, Thailand is very well represented today. Yes, we saw Priyananda we saw for 11th of a second. That's the time of association. It says if we have 11th of a second of association with a sadhu, we can change our life. This is what we need. And Nadia Sundari also. And it says translator, but I think not translating today, perhaps. No. Translating later on today to the Ukraine department. Govinda, Govinda. All right, so let us, as we're coming together and more devotees are joining us, and let us give our obeisances. Asha Purnadidi just joined us also from the USA, Dandavai. All right, let us begin. Oh, Radhakanta Prabhu just joining on the audio too. Radhakanta Prabhu, welcome to, we're just about to say our almost standard Vandeham and Om Gyan, Namo Maha, and then Vanchakalpatarubhishta. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapada Kamalang Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savarutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vashakandvitangscha Om Ajnana Timarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Anmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvije Namaha and Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So welcome one and all, and today is one of those rare days that I should be able to get also Facebook too, so I'll be happy to see those live on Facebook at the same time. So back to basics. Let's see if I can see on Facebook. All right, so I do have Facebook on today. Happily to be with whoever may be on Facebook. And, see if I can prop this up. All right, dear devotees, happy to be with you. It's now the 4th of January. Oh my goodness. However, we're still in, or I somehow hear we are still in the New Year's mood, and we are starting the new year. And hardly I can believe that here where I'm speaking, at least it's the 4th of January. So 3 days have passed, and wherever we are, 3 days have either fully passed or almost passed. I think we can say that. So how are we doing with our New Year's resolutions? Well, at least one is intact. I mean, really, I'm not sure that I actually sat down and made resolutions as such, as we have done in our perhaps teenage years or younger years. But But at least I've been reading Shishi Prapanit Jivan Amrita. Excuse me. This is a question I had on Back to Basics class number, I don't know, 20. How do newsreaders and interviewers on the television not sneeze? What is the trick? I suppose they're sitting somewhere a little warmer than I am now. Just excuse me. Ah, Goranga. All right, we are here with you. We have a human body. With the human body comes all sorts of embarrassments of, as given in the scripture, and we are told, embarrassed by old age, disease, and death. So anyway, we're embarrassed by sneezing and blowing our nose too. Anyway, I'm trying to be quiet so I don't wake people up. And so I was trying to say that at least until now, I've managed to keep up the reading of Shri Shri Prapana Jivanamritam, which Srila Gurudev specifically gave emphasis. It is very good to read Prapana Jivanamritam, at least at the new year, so that we can resolve to be a better surrendered soul. And really, again, we are reading Prapana Jivanamritam, and again, just feeling that, oh, this is new shlokas, new feeling, new mood. Like eating. When we take a meal, then it's not that, oh, I've eaten before. Oh, I've eaten before. I've eaten this before. I've had pizza, or pizza, but Gurudev pronounced pizza. I've had pizza before. It's not like that. Everything's always fresh, have a hunger for it, to taste it. So Prapana Jivanamritam, actually that's a very mundane example. But Prapana Jivanamritam, giving life to the surrendered souls, giving life for us to surrender. So we are very happy to be reading Prapana Jivanamritam. And if any of you are, very good, and if any of you aren't, it is a recommendation from Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj, that at New Year's time to read, at least at New Year's time, to read Prapana Jivanamritam. But of course, it's a book we can and do come back to throughout the year. All right, so dear devotees, who would like to give an insight into their life in 2024? Should we start with Jivana this week? I know Kumkum is ready. Jivana and Kumkum, and please, all of you be ready. And if you do have something to share, some insight or something, please do share it, because when we are together, we do share things quite readily. So we're together here on Zoom. That's the whole principle of Zoom. And Priya Bhakta Prabhu and Madhava Prabhu, I see, are on Facebook. And I know others do join on Facebook, but for some reason, I can't see them. But whoever is with us on Facebook, very welcome. And whoever's seeing the recorded version, also very welcome, because we're almost live in the recorded version. Yes, Jivanadi, Govinda Govinda.
Super Dandavats to all the wonderful devotees here. I feel like I haven't seen you for a while because I missed you last week, and all the New Year's things going on. I was, as Ramai would say, other pies occupied. And so I missed last week, but Dandavat to all of you. So happy that you're here. So great personalities that we've had the great fortune to associate with. Let's see. So last week you said something, anyway, this is just a side, but last week, Maharaj, you said something interesting that kind of struck me, that you said how we're very fortunate right now that we have these Zoom meetings and we have so many recordings and there's so many things that we can hear that are wonderful, but it may not always be like that. So this is a very, very fortunate time to be here, where we have Gurudev, Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, and so many of their illustrious followers who are very sincere and really great leaders in this way also that we have. And it just made me think about how Srila Gurudev once, he was talking about Kalki coming at the end of Kali Yuga. And he commented how Kalki comes with a sword. And we were thinking, I mean, we have so many fancy technological this, so many, like we have nuclear weapons, so many things. But when Krishna comes as Lord Kalki, he comes with a sword. So it must mean that a lot of those things that we have today are not going to be around by that time. So anyway, just maybe really appreciate and hope that I can properly utilize this human form of life now that I have this chance with all of you and these recordings and books and everything. And the other thing I was thinking was that I have so many things. There's so many beautiful books and audios, and I feel like I'm at an ocean of nectar and all I have is a thimble because I don't have capacity to be able to appreciate things and properly digest everything. So that makes me more grateful for all of you. And I'm really happy that you said, Maharaj, about Prapana Jivanamrita, because just last night I was looking at all the books and thinking, okay, what am I going to start with now? And right behind Prapana Jivanamrita, which I've gone through a couple of times, but I will go through it again. That was a really good tip from you and from Srila Gurudev. But right behind it was the Sermons of the Guardian of Devotion, Volume 2. So I thought I would just bring a little something from that book to this. And so I was just reading part 1, chapter 1, called Invite Vasudev into the Throne of Your Heart. And it just starts off with a devotee asking, what do we do when we're being continually attacked by lust, anger, greed? And Guru Maharaj, first thing he says is one should cry for the help of the sadhu. The sadhus are posted from above. There are many who are progressing from the mundane world to the spiritual world. And special sadhus are given charge to protect those travelers. So the devotee will cry aloud, I am going to be plundered, give me protection. With fervor, he will move all his nerve to the extreme. I must not allow myself to be plundered by you. All my previous tendencies have shaped my fate, and now they have appeared. I am prey to all those nasty plunderers. Please protect me. Kama, Krodha, Lobha are jumping at me. I thought that's how Gurudev opens this chapter. And let's see, so it's a little bit long, so then I skip, but you can all know where it is. And I was going to read, so towards the end of the chapter, which by the way is very short, it's only like 3 pages, but it takes a while to read. So the next one was that the devotee is saying that in the beginning we are taught to follow, but it seems there is a point when we imitate and then follow later. And so he's asking, when does imitation become following? Imitation or anukarana become following or anusarana? So Srila Guru Maharaj says, in anusarana, following, there is sincerity. And anukarana, imitation, is only for name and fame or pratishta. To only imitate devotion outwardly without inner purity is more or less done to get the glory of a sadhu. And anusarana means to attain from the heart sincerely. So true following is sincere progress and imitation is artificiality. It has been practically experienced that responsible services can help us from falling prey to lust, anger, etc. Foremost is faith, shraddha. Next is the association of pure devotees, sadhu sangha, and deep engagement with the duties prescribed by the spiritual master, bhajana kriya. Deep engagement is necessary, especially for the mind, not merely the body. and mental engagement can be attained only by responsibility. Some responsible service is given to the disciple. He feels the weight, and it occupies his brain. He cannot but think about it. The mind is engaged there, surely. So the mind gets no chance to dwell on lower things. This is the beauty of deep engagement in responsible service. In the practical sense, that helps us a great deal. Then association in scriptures will really be of substantial help to us as service. Pariprashna Sevaya. As much as we are able to engage ourselves in deep responsible services, the enemy's effect on us will be minimized. They will come and peep, and we'll step back saying, no time. He is deeply engaged. He has no time to give attention to us. He may not be enticed. In this way, they will have to retreat. Then if they return once, twice, thrice, or more, oh, no time. He has no attention to spare for us. He is very deeply engaged for seva. Seva service should not be merely physical. There is mental seva, and only responsibility can capture the mind. In responsibility, the mind is compelled to think on the matter. Otherwise, the mind may be free to wander hither and thither, even while the body is apparently engaged. So engage the mind in deep service, responsible service. So, that was a really great commentary on how to keep this guy out of trouble as much as possible by having some responsible service, something that we really think about deeply and feel responsible for it. So if it's not going to happen, we feel like, oh, I have to do something. So what do you think, Maharaj?
What do I think? Oh,
Yes.
You want me to reveal my mind about this guy inside our head? But what I was thinking was, it may be in that. Oh, I have to be quiet. Sorry. What I was thinking is that it may be in that audio that you recommended a couple of weeks ago. But very recently, I heard Srila Guru Maharaj in one of the audios I was listening to. And he was saying about duty consciousness.
Mm.
And I just looked it up. So it's not in, and I was trying to think, is it in a book? And I couldn't find it in the Krishna search. But he was saying it in the audio, and he said it more than once, because it jumped out to me. Oh, we're always thinking Krishna consciousness. But actually, our Krishna consciousness is duty consciousness.
Yes.
And so many wonderful things of how anybody, anywhere can be dutiful if we are sincere to what we've heard from Guru and Gauranga, the tips that have been given to us, the guidance that have been given to us. So everyone, everywhere can be a devotee. And in the temple, hopefully is helpful, but it's not always helpful for everyone. We know it, we have experience. Means helpful in a short term, but some are just not built for living in a temple, unfortunately.
Yeah. It's not easy.
Not easy, but we can make our own temple. That is our own home, our own space, our own place like that. Yes, and Sermons Volume 2, okay, every book is the best book, but some of you know that fairly recently, a little while ago, Sermons Volume 2 was my free time book, not the book we were reading in the temple, but it was my free time book. And again, we are surprised and reminded about the wonderful nourishment within that book. Sermons Volume 2 by Srila Guru Maharaj. Yes. And I had a quote actually here from Sermons Volume 3. And perhaps if I can just come a little bit out of sequence, because we were asking Kumkum to speak, but I've got a quote here, which is sort of following straight on from what Jivana is saying about this fellow up here. What is he thinking? And this point that Guru Maharaj says there are some special sadhus that have been appointed as our guardians to try to get us out of this world. So we'll call to our guardians. However, what I'd just like to say is a quote from Sermons 3, Sermons of the Guardian of Devotion, Volume 3. Srila Guru Maharaj is saying, the mind is very suspicious. So we should take advantage of divine sound. Only the very minimum demand is necessary from us. So only the very minimum demand is necessary from us. Yet the transformation which will occur in us will be very great. To have some, just see, while we're reading, we find also some mistakes. To have some shraddha, faith, is the minimum demand. The minimum admission fee required of us is, if I do this, if I attend to this Sankirtan, the congregational chanting of the holy names of God, then everything will be done. Then Srila Guru Maharaj saying, that underground faith must be there, and it will help us. That sincere cooperation from the heart is necessary for Krishna consciousness. Okay. That sincere cooperation from the heart is necessary for Krishna consciousness, and that can purify very quickly. So the mind is very suspicious, so we should take advantage of divine sound. This thing, the mind, it is not me. We must try to be aware of that. Yes, many thanks to Eddie, much appreciated. Kum David Assey, sorry for jumping the queue. The mind, my mind, it wasn't me, it was my mind jumped the queue.
Maharaj, your transcendental humor is very prominent. We're actually very happy to be reminded of that explanation from Srila Guru Maharaj, comparing the tendency for imitation to really be a search for, Jivanaditi was saying, for pratista, so not genuine sincerity. So have a ways to go with that. It seems quite easy to imitate sometime, but that will not assist us. And actually what I've been thinking the last few days, or since January 1st, especially, is since we're bombarded with all sorts of lists and things that we need to review, see how we're doing, and it was financial or whatever. We have so many things we need to get in order and think about as a New Year's resolution. And so most important is our spiritual renewal of what really matters, what can we really do to help ourselves and take advantage of this human form, which we're so fortunate with. And that brought me to wanting to hear about that beautiful quality of hankering that we see in the Vaishnavas. And so that landed me at this particular kirtan by Thakur Bhaktivinod, Kobayami Paibo Vaishnava Parachaya. Oh, when will Sri Chaitanya bestow upon me his grace? When will I get shelter in the shade of the holy feet of the Vaishnavas? When will I give up the false ego of being an enjoyer? And when will I offer all respects to the sincere devotees of Lord Vishnu? When will I submit myself by the feet of the Vaishnava with the cloth of surrender around my neck and with straw between my teeth? And of course, he goes on, and his expression of hankering is for our head. We can put on top of our head and gain so much benefit from his mood, his sincere hankering mood. And we all have the tendency to hanker that we could be much better. But when we hear from the Vaishnavas like this, then it helps us so much. And I was wondering, Maharaj, could you tell about this particular kirtan, which is not one of the more common ones that we sing? And
Just give me the first line again.
let me see.
Amara Jivana. No.
It's not. Kobe Ami Paibo Vaishnava Padachaya.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're right. The way I wrote it down, I left off the first line. Kobe Sri Chaitanya More Koribanadaya. Kobe Ami Paibo Vaishnava Padachaya.
I'm not sure how much I can say about this. Let me just quickly try
It's
to
on
find it.
page
Mhm.
77 in the most recent Kirtan guides.
Page 77. All right, let me try to.
The
find
name
that.
of it is Danya Prarthanagiti.
All right, page 77. Click, click. By Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Kobe Shri Chaitanya More Koribena Doya. Kobe Ami Paibo Vaishnava Padachaya. Oh, when will Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya, bestow upon me his grace? When will I get shelter in the shade of the holy feet of the Vaishnavas? Upon, yes. Kobe Shri Chaitanya More Koribena Doya. Well, we do sing it from time to time. I don't know what I can say more about the song, and I'd have to look to see, is it in the Sharanagati or Kalyan Kalpatru, one of the compilations it may be of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's compositions. But it's definitely a song of like humility or song of hankering and approaching the Vaishnavas and weeping, when will I submit my sorrowful tale at the feet of the Vaishnava? And when will I seek relief from the fire of material suffering? Praying to that Vaishnava for shelter and rest. Upon hearing the tale of my worldly sorrow, that saintly Vaishnava will petition Krishna on my behalf in prayer. Then, satisfied by that Vaishnava's prayer, Krishna will be merciful upon this wicked and sinful wretch. But then we have to replace our own names with Bhaktivinoda Thakur submits this prayer at the lotus feet of the Vaishnavas, that give me your grace and accept this lowly soul in your association. I can't say much about it except, it's another of the exemplary prayers that we should be singing, and that Srila Guru Maharaj told that Bhaktivinoda Thakur is giving us what is prayer, giving us the mood of prayer.
Yeah.
And just recently we were together in the Vaishnava festival in Thailand, the Kartik festival, and culminating in Srila Guru Maharaj's Vyasa Puja. And one thing there is we were all using this same songbook, and there were maybe 5 or 6 kirtans that came up from the different devotees that we hardly ever sing, and we think, is this in the songbook? And then we realize that the songbook it's got treasures that we do sing these songs, and then for maybe many months we don't sing a particular song, or even years it can be. And then we come back to singing the song. And I did record a few on the phone when we were singing. I thought, oh, I should record this. And when we go back to Italy, then we'll sing these songs. So we're also doing like that. So it's a very living songbook, I have to say.
Yeah. There's no end to how much we can gain by hearing from our gurus.
And the same kirtans that we sing, you look and see what we sing.
Yeah.
Jaya Re Jaya Re Jaya. That song that we sing in the evening, the Saraswati Aarti. Every time we read it, we're all looking at each other practically and saying, look, what's in this song? What are we singing?
Yeah.
It's about Mahaprabhu, about Radha, about Krishna. Mahaprabhu, Radha, Krishna, their mercy. And again, the reminder of where we are now. And such compositions, such kirtans, they have only been around for the last few years. I mean, since Mahaprabhu. Before Mahaprabhu, there's no kirtan about Mahaprabhu and Nityananda. Very few people know about Mahaprabhu and Nityananda. And now their Leela has been revealed. And in these kirtans, there's so much which is presented to us. That is one luxury of being either, I mean, in a temple or being with devotees, where, where we are sitting, singing the kirtans, reading the translations. And bit by bit, we do get used to the words. And so when we glance at the translation while we are singing, we can also be feeling what we're singing rather than just making Sanskrit sounding sound, if you know what I mean. Sanskrit sounding noise. No, we don't do that. Sanskrit sounding sound. But Srila Gurudev always stressing to us, we should try to know what we are singing, try to not just make sound into the ether, but it is prayer into the ether. But at the same time, just if we can't, keep pace when we sing with the translation, we should still sing these kirtans. We should still sing the songs. We should still hear the Hare Katha, even if we don't understand. As Krishnadas Kaviraj says in Chaitanya Charitamrita, even if you don't understand anything, keep reading Chaitanya Charitamrita. It will manifest in your heart.
Yes.
And as Guru Maharaj says about Gayatri, the different Gayatri mantras were given. We don't need to know their meaning. If we cultivate them properly, the meaning will be revealed, because it's not a mundane meaning that we analyze the words and then we say, okay, now I know what it is. It is cultivation. And as the taking shelter in divine sound, as we heard just now from Srila Guru Maharaj, then taking shelter in its divine sound. It's not mundane sound. So I appreciate that you pointed this one out. And we haven't sung it here for quite a long time. And it's easy to sing. Some of the songs are a little more tricky. Aren't they, Leela Moy Prabhu? We are together in Thailand trying to sing some of the songs. And who is very good to help us through? Sudarshan Prabhu is very good to help us through. Rai Kishori, Abhinava Sundar Prabhu. And sometimes when we're singing some of the kirtans, then we kind of make a note. Okay, next time I see one of these devotees, I'm going to ask them how to sing. And one of them is from the mat. We know it from Chaitanya Saraswat mat, but sometimes when you haven't sung for a while, then you're trying to find, what is the meter. And one of them, which the devotees all love to sing, is the Jaya 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 Deva Hari Jaya Deva Hari. This kirtan and how it flows and how it goes. And everyone loves to sing that one. Once we're reminded of the tune, and it was Sudarshan Prabhu who reminded me of the tune. And that's coming directly from the mat. But we hadn't sung it for so many years. And it's in the songbook too. Hare Krishna. Oh, by the way, Paramanand, who is here in Thailand, where am I? In Italy. He came the day before Vyasa Puja, and he's been saying for 1,000 years, I think, plus or minus 1 or 2, I want to come to Vila Govinda. I'm going to come to Vila Govinda. And so everybody said, yes, come to Vila Govinda. And then the day before Vyasa Puja, he turns up in Vila Govinda, and like everyone, like practically touching him and making sure this is real, that he's here. So it was also a very happy surprise for all the devotees that really he's turned up in Vila Govinda. And so he's here. But it's a little early in the morning for normal devotees, here. It's a little bit early, 3 a.m. So this is one reason I'm speaking quietly, because I'm next door from him. And now you've reminded me of this. I'm going to make a little bookmark, and perhaps we will sing it today, either morning or evening. Add it to our playlist. And we have a devotee, and a Bengali devotee, Bimalananda, maybe Kumkum and Jeevana know him. He's always a devotee, but he was a brahmachari. Now he's living married life. And he and I, we would, throughout the day, when we were like near each other and we walking or anything like this, we would make playlists for the evening. This song, and then after that we should have this because it follows on. And then in the evening time, we'd have like a playlist. I haven't used iTunes in a long, long time, but iTunes, they have these, you make a playlist and you can put things into a playlist. So anyway, we had not an iTunes playlist, we had an kirtan playlist, so that in the evening we would sing those songs. So this I'm adding to our playlist for morning or evening. We never have enough time to sing everything we want to sing. It's also a fact. Okay, I'm saying too much. Here we are on Zoom and we're on Facebook. We're with the devotees, dear devotees. Now I'm asking for a contribution, and I think Krishna Priya Devi Rasi is one to ask. Otherwise, why is she here on Zoom if she's not here to participate? That goes for everybody. Get ready. Krishna Priya Devi, would you like to share something on any theme but what you've heard today to follow on, or something you'd like to share? Kindly.
I think first Gurudev, Mary Ann has a raised hand for a few minutes now.
Oh,
I
does
think she
she?
has some contribution after Krishna Priya can talk.
Okay, Marian, I hadn't noticed the hand. It's
No.
because your hand is in the sun. There's something radiating from your hand. Looks like that.
Okay.
Dandavat.
Dandavat. Just from what the song that Kumkum was reading, it reminded me of a note that I took from the video that we've been watching with Guru Maharaj, and it was at about the 45-minute mark.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about, the material plane and how everyone wants to maintain their existence at the cost of others, but that at a certain point, the call will come from the superior plane, and that superior, sympathetic, super loving affection is superior. And then he said, run away from the danger zone. This is the imperative call of Mahaprabhu. Come to the safe position. So I think that singing these songs, they create the vibration, they create the ability to be receptive to receiving this call. So anyway, that was one thing. And then the other thing, I heard a really interesting thing actually on a TV show recently. There was a situation where there was a man who rereads the same book like all the time. And, his friend says, why do you always read the same book? It's, it's never going to change. It says the same things. And he says, but I have changed. So every time I read this book, I learn something new. And I think that this applies to us with, reading and rereading all of the wonderful books that we have, because as we learn and grow, we get more out of them.
Was he reading Sermons of the Guardian of Devotion, Volume 2?
No, he was reading Charles Dickens, but at least it was a classic. But I do think that it applies. And
Oh, it does apply. Yes. Yes.
Anyway, Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Jai Jai. Ah, okay, so that's Marianne's hand and her sharing, and appreciated Marianne, very clear. And yes, we're waiting for the change from us trying to boost our rocket to go up to the change when from up comes the pull that, oh yes, come, 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 come. Hare Krishna, and that is there. It is there. And in fact, if we are little step out of our own body and step out of our own everything and look, we can say that we are pretty close to that zone where we're being pulled there. Otherwise, why are we here? Really, why are we here? We're not sitting on a mountain, standing on one leg, eating once a week and trying to force some things. We've come to the land of mercy, and mercy means receiving mercy. You can't demand mercy. So yes, so there is hope, and many hopeful things, by the way. We're always reading hopeful things. And so, and also in the songbook, by the way, there are hopeful songs, and some of them are sad songs about our miserable condition, this, that, and the other, and how hopeless we are. But all the hopeless songs, they're there to emphasize the land of hope. Darkness is there. When you go through some of these tunnels in the Alps, you really appreciate the color of nature when you come out of the tunnel, and the fresh air, which is not exhaust gas of cars that you're breathing in. So sometimes, those negative things, like just now that part you read, we must flee from this area of danger. We must try together. We must flee from the area of danger. Very good example. Hare Krishna. Okay, where are we? Come, David Asi. Quickly, you better interrupt me.
How can I interrupt you, Maharaj? This is life-giving nectar. Perhaps we'll hear from Krishna Priya Didi.
Oh.
Example, her enthusiasm.
All right. Sorry, I'm losing the plot. Thank you for keeping us on track. But come, Didi, yes, you're here with us. Krishna Priya Didi, it seems you're up. And Advitya joined us. Dandavat, Jai Guru Dev.
I think I forget everything I have to say. I'm frozen now.
You're in Thailand. It's nice and warm. I'm frozen now.
I'm very happy now to have chance to join you, Maharaj. Normally, I'm not really have time to join everyone. But something I want to share about, recently, we was reading one book in the evening. I can show.
Affectionate Lady.
This one, Maharaj.
Jai.
Affectionate
Guidance, yeah. By Srila Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj. Yes. Jai.
Every time I be reading, like Ramasunda was reading this, I always thinking like Gurudev would just sit next to us. And we got his speaking. And then it's just very easy to read, Maharaj. Even though, because my English is not my mother language, but this book is so good. I really enjoy this book. It's guiding so many things. Lately, we read this book in the evening. It was so nice, really nice, Maharaj. It's kind of inspired a lot now. Even though I start singing now, Maharaj.
Okay, good.
Yes. I think because associate of the devotee is like so real. And then I think like I just like feel like everyone like should always associate with the devotee. I mean, do it, whatever, not even reading or singing, something, like in the life, experience normal life. You will always get some things inspired. That's how I
Yes.
learned also. Even cooking, play badminton, football, something. And then you get inspired, or you get like, some kind of like so sincerity for the sincere devotee, and then will entering your heart like that. That's how I study learning now. Dandavad Maharaj, Dandavad Kumkum.
And many devotees all sharing your inspiration. And this is our life, to share our inspiration with each other. Beautiful. And something came in when I just threw myself off the track. Something came in my mind from what you were saying, but now I forgot it. Oh dear. All right. So let us come then to Kum. So anyway, thank you very much, and for being so brave to talk with us all. Oh, what I was going to say. Yes, you were saying about the guidance that's coming and it's so natural. And Gurudev's first language is not English also. And he's trying to be clear with everything. He's not using long words or difficult expressions. So he's trying to be clear to tell the devotees. And what guidance is he giving? He's giving affectionate guidance. It's not a small thing. It's like a very big thing, really affection, pure affection for no interest. It's not affection for any purpose of his own. It's affection out of compassion for us, the souls who would not normally have any other way of getting relief. And he knows what's around the corner for the living entities when they don't surrender to Krishna. And he's just giving encouragement to put Krishna at the center with affection, with care. So anyway, those two things came to my mind. What kind of guidance? Affectionate guidance. And how Gurudev would express himself would be in simple, straightforward English. He's trying to use the words that he has, the phrases that he has. And not only trying to, he's using his words and his phrases, which are, you could say, simple English, but expressive. Everything he gave using English was expressive. We tend to use, words and not really necessarily express. But first is his expression, and second is, okay, I'm using the language which I need to use in order to give examples, and sometimes in a roundabout way, but in a beautiful roundabout way. Then he's telling us something which perhaps in his first language, in Bengali, he would have said in just 3 or 4 words. But it's so sweet and so affectionate. Yes, appreciated very much, Krishna Priyadi. Okay, Kumkum Devinasi. Can't escape this time.
Maharaj, you've reminded me that I was told, and I'm sure you know whether it's true, that Srila Gurudev and many of the devotees at the Mat actually wanted to learn English after the first books were translated into English, like Search for Sri Krishna and Loving Search, because he was speaking things which they had not yet heard. So we're very fortunate if we've got English as our first language, because then we can be a little bit lazy when it comes to learning translations. But it doesn't matter the language, does it? It's the heart-to-heart communication.
Exactly. And it is very true. Gurudev told that what Guru Maharaj gave in English, he was not giving to the general Indian section, only within a closed small circle of the senior disciples of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Gurudev. And in a closed circle, he would discuss these topics. And that expression about the Gayatri mantra, Gurudev himself said to Srila Guru Maharaj, should you be expressing this so openly? It's a very private thing. And Guru Maharaj said, if I don't express it openly, then who will? And so, this way also, as I said just before, if we step out of our body and look at things from an independent point of view, so it's, so many wonderful things are there at this time and where we are located, who we've come to be with, etc. And Srila Guru Maharaj also is like that. He can also be in the third person, see the situation. And he just humbly saying, not proudly saying, but humbly saying, because he knows that those who know means those who are the eternal associates, as Guru Maharaj describes, those who assisted Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, his disciples. He said they're his eternal associates coming to serve him. And all of those looked to Guru Maharaj as the current of Srila Saraswati Thakur. And so he knew that, okay, this should be expressed, the meaning of Gayatri, the inner meaning, the secret meaning. And if he doesn't do it, who will express it in the future? Because and this way it will be taken as fact, if you like. Like Narada Muni gave instruction to Vyasadeva, you compiled the Veda, you have to give its conclusive purpose. And hence, from that came Srimad Bhagavatam. So it's not exactly the parallel, but something quite similar, that Guru Maharaj himself knew he had to explain that. So that's one example, but the whole theme of the fine, Radha Dasyam, and then the Sakis and the Manjaris, everything, it's almost, unspoken because it's so fine. And this is where we must be careful that, Radharani's name was not taken by Veda Vyas. Was not taken when he compiled Srimad Bhagavatam, was not taken by Shukadev Goswami when he's explaining Srimad Bhagavatam. And now we have Radha, Krishna, and we must be very careful and not to minimize or not to take lightly the confidential names of the Lord and his topmost associates, but the confidential pastimes, the subject matters that Guru Maharaj flowed with, that Srila Gurudev flowed with, that Srila Prabhupada flowed with. Read Chaitanya Charitamrita and Srila Prabhupada's purports. And many of those are based on Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's own commentaries on Chaitanya Charitamrita. So yes, in English we are privy, whatever the correct word, privileged to have got the opportunity to hear these highest things in English. And yes, some of the devotees, they wanted to learn English and maybe did also. In the mat, quite a few devotees got to know English. And one thing many things strike us, but you can say a lot of the people in India, a lot of us in the villages, they don't really have high level of mundane education, O-level, whatever the O-levels, A-levels, degrees, and this like that. But I noticed that they all seem to be able to pick up languages quite quickly.
Yeah, yeah.
And from America and from the UK, I have noticed that many may have high education standards, but very difficult for them to learn a new language.
Sure.
I mean, we in Bengal, so many of the village kids, they could speak Bengali, Hindi, and English.
Yes.
in
Yes.
in our area.
Yes.
I mean, quite sufficiently. They can speak Bengali, Hindi, and English. and quite often something else too, maybe Bihari or some other language, nearby language. So they pick up English. And I can think of one or two of the brahmacharis who really had no English, but by the Westerners coming, they did pick it up. If only we could do the same. That's not everybody here, I know. I'm talking for me, not we. I should say I, and not implicate anybody else. However, Munindra Mohan Prabhu did say that here is Chinmoy Dev Prabhu from America. You know him. He was living in California, married to Doya Moy, who is Italian. And Munindra said, he's the only American I found who's actually learned Italian, the Chinmoy Dev. And he chats away in Italian. He hasn't got all the Italian mannerisms, but he's got the words. I may have some of the mannerisms, but I don't have the words. Hare Krishna. Yes, somebody's eager to say something. Who is eager? Put up your hand. Have an eager competition.
I saw a question in the chat, Maharaj.
Is there?
I thought I saw it pop up.
Cha Danake Hare Krishna, and Seva Rupa. Dainya Pratana Giti by Srila Bhaktivedanta. Okay, so Seva Rupa did is put the translation, translation and verses of that Kirtan of Bhaktivinoda Thakur here. Then Marianne, can someone write here the book that Maharaj mentioned he's reading now? Oh, and should be read at the beginning of the year. Yes, Shri Shri Prapana Jivanamrita. And that is on scsmat.com. You'll find it there. On the left side, it says books. It's one thing, books and ebooks. Click on there. Then go to PDF books, and it may be there in EPUB. It's possible.
Yes.
Oh, someone's Priyanana's putting. Oh, there we look. There we are. Priyanana. She answered this question too. She's put the links for that Prapana Jivanamritam book. And this is, and Marianne, this book is kind of a book you need to take a little bit every day and start from beginning and go through. And it's what is important. I can just point out this because somebody can read this book, and we know devotees have read this book and they think, oh, it's a compilation of inspiring verses. But it is a compilation of inspiring verses. But what is also very important, and the very heart of this book, are the aphorisms that lead us from verse to verse to verse to verse. These aphorisms are by Guru Maharaj, Srila Sridhar Maharaj. And the very theme of the book is Sharanagati, its departments of Sharanagati. And please, do give attention to the introduction to each verse and not think it's just pointing, it's just saying something about the verse. It is saying something about the verse, but gradually we come to see it's a very like step-by-step development of thought on each of the themes of Sharanagati. So I just point that out to help our reading. And this book we have read many, many times since its publication in the time of Srila Guru Maharaj. And Srila Guru Maharaj was very, very pleased that this book came in the English language. Hare Krishna. And he wrote that book. He himself explained that he wrote that book when he came out from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's mission about 4 years after Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur disappeared. And there was so much controversy of quarreling gentlemen, as he very politely put it. And finally he saw this, why did I come to Srila Saraswati Thakur? Not for so many things of the mundane world. And then he went to the banks of the Ganges and went to a hidden place And at that time, he said, for my own reminder and clarification of why I came to surrender to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Why did I come? For my clarification and benefit, I'm writing this, and for the benefit of those in the future who may feel this, may need this urgency of surrender, that how to get shelter in this world. So it's a very heartfelt compilation of Srila Guru Maharaj expressing for himself and for others. And that's, others is us. Just like Vyasadeva, just like the grand gathering in Naimisharanya later. It was all for the benefit of the souls in Kali Yuga, us, the potential devotees. So they've given us so much, and we need to be appreciative of what has been given by reading their works and putting them into practice. Hare Krishna. Anyway, dear devotees here and on Facebook, we're very happy to have you all with us. And it's not a matter of Facebook or anything else. It's a matter of just like heart to heart, being together. And we do think of each other, think of the devotees when we're not, directly connected, on a Zoom meeting or something. So, everyone, please continue happily, knowing that our real guardians, as Jivana was mentioning about it, there are some specific agents of the Lord who've come to give shelter to us, come to bring us home, and they are with us now. And that, you can say, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Gurudev. They are all there, present, waiting for us to turn our head in their direction, to put our head in their direction, and to not have just lip service appreciation for what they've given, but let us try to actually do that. And Prapana Jivanamritam, this book, will help us. And that's Gurudev's viewpoint, and that also has Gurudev's added power, if you like, added contribution, that he has pointed this out. It is his beacon, it's his focus of the spotlight to this book. And there is one verse in this book which also is Gurudev's big focus, but we don't have time to go through that verse today, but you will come across a verse which says, Bhagavad Bhaktita Sarvam Ityutsridya Vidherapi Kainkaryam Krishna Padaika Shrayatvam Sharanagati. And on another occasion, we can perhaps remind ourselves of that one verse that Gurudev points out from the book. There we will get everything ever given in that one verse about Sharanagati. So, it's a wonderful book, Marianne. And to each of you, Hare Krishna. And Ishwarananda Prabhu, we were in the snow this week and thinking of you very much. Maybe I'll send you a picture or two in the snow with the devotees. And happily doing walk and talk and slip and slide, because some of it was very slippery. It was packed ice rather than snow. I know those in Thailand don't know what is snow, but we know what is snow. Most of us here know what is snow. Priyananda, Nadia Sundari, maybe Rupanuga. He knows what's snow, but he's from Australia, so some part. All right, dear devotees, time to go, as they say, but super to be with you all. And Adviti, your mum, she's getting on the plane. She should be taking off almost now, 4 a.m. Sometime around now, she's heading back from Vila Govinda. Means she's flying. The flight takes off, I think, 4 a.m. going back to Belgium. So she's been very happy not guest. She's been very happy resident for a little while in Vila Govinda Ashram, and we've all been happy to have her here. So just to keep an update of your mum's travels. Chintamani, I have no idea where you are, except you're on planet Earth, and good to have you on board. And we are meant to discuss something soon, but I don't think did you send me a time and a date to talk? No, perhaps that can be possible soon. All right, dear devotees, one by one, my obeisances to all of you, appreciation to each of you who've contributed today, and everybody who's here on Facebook and recorded. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. And you all know, big jais to Srila Gurudev, Srila Gurumar, Srila Prabhupada, our whole Rupa Nuga Sampradaya, and the present day Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Acharya Vrinda, who are all bringing us the grace of Guru and Gauranga. Dandavat.
Jai Shri Bhaktiranjan Mansur Maharaj ki Jai.
Some disturbance is coming in my headphones. Okay, I better go. Anyway, whatever jai you give, it is to them. We are pointing to them. Most certainly it is to them. Have a successful week in Seva, or a few days. We'll see you in a couple of days' time or 3 days' time for those who are able to be with us happily. Dandavat.